And so the problem that we set out to solve was, how do we make legal services more accessible for, and these figures are nuts, but the 8.5 million Australians who have a legal problem each year, only half of which get help. We started off with that problem of accessibility, and the first thing that we did as a company was we started to build bots for community legal centres so that a new client could come, and instead of having to sit on the phone for an hour, they could interact with a bot, give it all of the information that it needed to auto-generate a letter for them to then send on to their landlord. That was like literally the first use case. We turned what had been a bot building technology into a platform for any legal expert to build legal bots to serve their clients. And so that's how we solve the problem now. We put an easy to use legal automation platform into the hands of the legal experts themselves, the content producers, so that they can build automated workflows, automated documents, and launch them as conversational bots to their clients.
The way organisations capture human capital activities is incredibly cumbersome, and lawyers, they're copying the worst of it. So Mitimes is providing a predictive timekeeping solution which allows lawyers to capture their time in a single click. Mitimes is automating this time capture, and by automating this, we're avoiding two things. First is the reliance on a lawyer's memory, and second, it's the interruptions to the lawyer's workflow.
It's very difficult to find a barrister. There's 80 chambers. And so how do you find the barrister you're looking for? To call around or to send emails out to 80 chambers, it just doesn't work. So we want to make that more efficient. And the second problem we're trying to solve is, once we find a barrister, how do we get the brief to them? Yes, so a solicitor or in-house counsel will log into our, or go to our URL, barristerselect.com, and then they'll have a form to fill out in terms of, what sort of practice area that barrister's in, what level of seniority do they want? Do they want a junior? Do they want a senior counsel? Do they want, somebody's got 10 years experience? What sort of price range they're looking at paying for that? Equitable briefing's very important these days, so they can tick a box saying, look, their firm is committed to equitable briefing, so we know about that, and then they can talk a little bit about the matter, how many documents there are, how quickly they want a response.
There's 490,000 Australians each year who don't get the legal help they need, and that's for a number of reasons, but the main one being they just can't afford a lawyer. A lot of people think that if you have a legal problem and can't afford a lawyer, you just get legal aid. It's not really the case. So that's one massive problem. A lesser known problem is that law students at universities are desperate for practical legal training. Having both of these problems at the same time seems a little bit ridiculous, and so Anika aims to solve those problems with each other by connecting the people who need help with the law students who want to help, and our experienced lawyers will make sure all the advice given is sound. We're early stages at the moment, but the vision is that we will create a legal unit which will be rolled out in a university or several universities, and perhaps someone's getting unfairly evicted by their landlord, but they can't afford a lawyer to contest that. They could go onto our website and submit their case. Now that case would be assigned to a student enrolled at a partner university in the Anika unit, and the law student would draft that advice, and that advice would be checked by a lawyer and returned to the client. So the client would get their free legal help, and our law student would also get their practical legal training.